Well, as we get set for what is hopefully the last blast of winter this week in Kansas City, let's go down to warm Arizona, where Joel Goldberg, Royals broadcaster, arrived last night. We've got the first spring training games later this week. He also has a new book out I will ask him about here in a few minutes, Small Ball, Big Dreams. The forward is by George Brett. So, Joel, how's that warm air treating you so far today? Good morning.
Well, good morning, Pete. I'm not going to be that obnoxious guy that says, well, I'm driving into the stadium right now and it says it's only 50 degrees out, because I'm only here for 2 days. I'm not even here for the games. So I'm going back to whatever mess we have coming Tuesday night, if I even make it back. But always good to be out here, and always good to be out here when the team is expected to do really well.
Well, yeah, exactly. You got to figure out a reason to hang around a couple more days. I mean, you just got to make something up here before you got to head home. I mean, it's going to be terrible when you get back. But we appreciate the honesty. So let's just start with this. The vibe, the feel. I know you just got there last night, but when you're going to a team that is coming off the playoffs for the first time in a decade, how does that change the feel around spring training compared to any other season when you're coming off, 60, 70 wins?
I was thinking about this question, having a thought that you might ask it without me actually being, at the complex yet. And I'm pulling in like 3 minutes. The locker room opens in about 9 minutes. So, but I think I know, because I've done this a long time, and this is my 18th season of Royals baseball. We missed 1 year of spring training during the year after COVID. And I've never, Pete, walked into a spring training, and even dating before my Kansas City years, where anyone ever said, we're going to be terrible this year. Like, this is the time of year where everyone thinks, well, maybe, like if this goes right and this goes right, maybe it all could work out. But you're not a championship team. Mm-hmm. The Royals know they're a championship team. That's what I'm going to see today when I walk in there. The optimism will be there just like it is every single year. It's very simply put a matter of hoping versus a matter of knowing. Nothing is guaranteed. This team will have a different look in their eyes this year than they did last year, because they got a taste of it and they know now what it looks like.
That's great. Well, over the weekend, the Royals gave Cole Reagans a new 3-year contract, $13.25 million. That broke on Friday night. So what does that move in particular mean? What does it signal? How big of a deal is that to, the casual Royals fan that's in this audience right now and hoping this team can put together another playoff season?
So in terms of numbers, it's not a big deal. In terms of the Royals and Cole Reagans, it is a big deal. And here's how so. Just a little bit of economics, and I won't go any further than that because I'm not that smart. But from a baseball standpoint, you typically will have a guy. Now, they didn't have Cole Reagans from the beginning. They traded for him. But typically a player, when they get up to the big leagues, is going to have 3 years where their salary is determined. It's determined based on those years of service, and they don't have a whole lot of control. The team has all the control. Typically, years 4, 5, and 6 is when they're going to become arbitration eligible. The team still has the rights to them, but in the end, they're going to need to come up with a fair number, or it's going to go to a judge, and that judge is going to say it's either the high number for the player or the low number. And no one totally wants that, because if the player doesn't get what he wanted, it's going to be lower than what he probably deserves. And if the team doesn't get what they wanted, it's going to be more than what they were hoping to spend. And so with Cole Reagans, he still has 3 arbitration years coming up beginning next year. We know, based on his performance last year, that a judge, or the value in arbitration, is going to be really, really high based on him being a Cy Young candidate. The flip side of that is that, Cole Reagans has had 2 Tommy Johns. There is injury risk. Nothing is guaranteed. He's still a younger guy with a lot of years left. It's not like he's a 32, 33-year-old. So for him, if you can get that guaranteed money, it at least offers you some security. So they come up with this deal. If he were hitting arbitration right now, it would be more. If he were hitting free agency, it will be off the charts. Not Bobby Witt Jr. or Juan Soto numbers, but it'd be really, really big. And so what this does is it gives him more money the next few years, guarantees that no matter what happens, he's going to get that 13 plus. For the Royals, what it does is it offers them cost certainty and says, okay, for this year, we're going to pay him a little more than we were going to. Mm-hmm. For the next 2 years of arbitration, we're going to pay him Maybe less than we would, maybe not. We don't know, but we have certainty now. And then he'll have one more year of arbitration, and they could work on something more long term. But this really makes everybody happy for a few years.
If he stays healthy, it's a steal.
Yeah.
Right.
And if he doesn't, it's not.
It's not in
baseball terms.
Yeah.
It's not ridiculous money. And for Cole, it gives him some nice money in his pocket right now.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. Now, Ned Yost, of course, back in the saddle, special advisor to GM J.J. Piccolo. I know you're just getting down there. You're pulled into the complex at this point. But what do you expect to see, hear? What do you want to learn from Ned Yost with him being back in the organization? Of course, the guy who was the manager of the World Series team a decade ago.
I think that we will, first off, anytime you can get someone with Ned's caliber and with the history that he has with the organization re-engaged, that's a good thing. I think that you'll see in some form or another, you'll see some version of that, maybe not, with an Alex Gordon at some point. And some of these other guys that, whether players or manager, were a big part of the past and have a lot to offer if and when the time is right.
Mm-hmm.
Ned retired. He got away. He said that, the excitement of last year. I remember I talked to him down in Atlanta the weekend that they clinched, and he did. He was giddy, and it was nice to see him relaxed and enjoying it. And another side of Ned, which I know exists, but when you get locked in to the season, it can be hard to have that focus. And so I think that having his opinion, having him engaged will be a good thing. But let's be honest here too. Like, this is a retirement job. I hope I'm not underselling it if it's more than he can yell at me, but I would imagine he'll be as involved as he wants to be, but it's not going to be an everyday thing where he's at the park. And I think that what you'll do after spring training is see him fade a little bit more into the background in a way that doesn't mean that he's not involved. It means that we're not going to see him front and center because he knows that, that's Matt Quatraro's job. That's his team. And by the way, Ned will be happy not to do interviews every single day too.
Yeah. All right, Joel Goldberg on KCMO Talk Radio. We'll wrap it up here with your new book that just came out, Small Ball, Big Dreams. The forward is by George Brett. I see the book is available right now on Amazon. People can find it there. What will they get out of this one?
A lot of inspiration. I started a motivational speaking business about 8 years ago, so I do that in the off season and even during the season, and started meeting a lot of people in and out of baseball. And I'm a storyteller, and so small ball, we know the term from baseball, the bunts, the sacrifices, the little things. I wrote one book about 4 years ago, Small Ball, Big Results, how to get there. This one is the stories of dreams. And the first chapter, it's not all Royals, but the first chapter is Lorenzo Cain. Here's a Royals icon that first started playing baseball in high school. The last chapter is Freddie Fermin, Salvador Perez's backup. About the same time Salvi was winning a World Series, Freddie Fermin. And think about this, Pete. At 19, everybody was getting interested in Lorenzo Cain because of his prowess in high school. At 19, Freddie Fermin, no one had any interest in him. He was basically walking the streets of the Dominican there from Venezuela looking for a job, and the Royals ended up taking a chance and saying, we'll put you up and let you work out. And then they thought, he's the best catcher we got here in camp. So a lot of stories like that. My friend Sarah Nauser, former Kansas City police officer, so courageously battling ALS. Just a lot of amazing stories of grit, resilience, and changing that focus when things don't go your way and finding a way to get it done.
Small Ball, Big Dreams, just dropping. Get it on Amazon right now. Joel Goldberg, Royals broadcaster in sunny, warmer Arizona. Thank you, my friend, and we'd love to talk to you again as spring training rolls along.
Anytime. Talk to you soon, Pete.
All right, there you go. Very nice job by him. We appreciate Joel Goldberg on KCMO Talk Radio.